do what I do.
You have people that came to this country illegally at a point, and they never embraced America. They never cared for it. They were here to make money and send money back.
Right.
They ended up staying here and having children in the U.S. So as their children grew up in the U.S., they never taught them to love this country. Now those kids who are U.S. citizens because they were born here have grown up with that anger towards the U.S., and every time something happens, they got to use their race as a crutch and say it's because you're racist. And they hear the stories of their parents and their grandparents of how great life was in Mexico.
Yeah.
But they've never been to Mexico. And if they have, it's been for little vacations. They don't understand what it is like your power went out, or your Wi-Fi doesn't work,
Right.
or the toilet ain't working, which would have been a disaster for me today. Let's just clear that up.
Full circle. Thank you, Art.
Would have been a disaster. All they know is their parents told them everything was great over there.
Right.
And then they look into their own, prison history of, the Aztlan overtake.
Yeah.
And how this land was theirs. And then when you tell them it was bought and paid for by the U.S. after the Mexican-American War, and they say it was forced. Dude, let me tell you something. If I'm in a war with you and I want to take your land,
Right.
and I just whoop your rear end
Yeah.
from the north of California to the southern tip of Arizona, I'm not paying you for the land.
And another thing, I'm tired of having to explain to Caribbeans that black Americans have their own culture and they've been here the same amount of time as y'all been in the Caribbean. Like, no disrespect to that lady that I met last night, but I'm so tired of hearing the same, oh, y'all don't have any culture, y'all don't know where y'all come from. First of all, you don't know where you come from because you got here to the Hispaniola Islands or whatever islands that you came from, then your family and your ancestors got there 400 years ago. You know when my family got here 400 years ago? My grandmother was born on a plantation, my great-grandmother was born on a plantation, my great-great-grandmother was born on a plantation. My great-great-great-grandmother was born on a plantation. So I'm tired of having to explain to y'all that y'all got here at the same time as us. So when y'all say that y'all built your own culture, black Americans built their own culture in America the same way that you did. You just got dropped off on the island. You was a pit stop. You ain't no different from us. So stop saying that. And when people look at me and see how dark I am, they say, well, you just don't know where you come from. You're African. Yeah, you African too. But saying that you're from an island does not one-up me. It's not the gotcha moment that you think it is. You actually sound stupid because you got here 400 years ago. I got here 400 years ago. And you know what wasn't a country 400 years ago? Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone. These weren't countries. It was only tribes. So you don't know where you come from, just as I don't know where I come from. You got dropped off. You were a pit stop. We are all one. We are all the same. Stop acting like us Caribbeans and us black Americans are different people. We are the same people. Stop acting like we don't have culture because y'all cultivated your own culture of music and the way you dress and the way you talk the same way that we did in the Americas. I can't stand seeing y'all saying that we don't have any culture when y'all running around my city dressed up as a fucking black cowboy. Let's be for real. Stop saying we don't have any culture when every state in America has its own culture. Me personally, I feel proud that my ancestors was in the Carolinas in the way that they cook, the way that they dress. They was wearing suits, ties, cooking soul food. They was making something out of nothing, making something out of scraps that the master gave them, left down to them. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of go-go music. I'm proud of black culture. Y'all be saying it sound like pots and pans. You actually sound ignorant. Because go-go music sounds like tribal music. So what is it that y'all really like? So y'all like reggae, y'all put y'all respect on certain things and then you disrespect other black cultures. Y'all be pissing me off. The way that we dress, the streetwear. The whole reason that we wear low-key gray outfits, black and white outfits in the DMV is because we want to stay low-key and stay away from the police. Everything stems from something. Y'all don't know it's like that. Y'all keep on saying that, oh, well, my country, we blah, 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 blah. Your country is like 20 square miles, bro. Y'all created your own culture. I'm proud of you. But my city did too. And lastly, if black Americans don't got no culture, why y'all keep on meat riding? Why y'all keep on trying to dress like us? Why y'all using our slang? Why y'all using our haircuts? Why y'all using them black women hairstyles? Why y'all wearing do-rags? What's going on? Let's get down to the bottom. Let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Of African and Caribbean black people who seem to carry this air of superiority towards Africa.
I feel like the reason that there is a sense of disconnect between us and the other Black countries of the diaspora is because, unlike those countries, we actually have to live with our oppressor every day. A lot of Caribbean countries, they've been independent for like 30 years, and even before that, it was predominantly Black. There weren't a lot of Europeans actually like colonizing those places and staying there. Whereas in America, obviously, we're outnumbered by our oppressor. And a lot of our culture comes from that oppression. And I feel like that's what a lot of these predominantly Black countries don't get or understand. They know what it's like to be colonized, but they don't know what it's like to have to live with your oppressor every day. And to continue to be systemically oppressed by that group of people every day.
400 years, 500 years ago. I'm telling you, I don't give a goddamn one what this. Get the over it, because we gotta move on.
No, it's African American versus African, Caribbean versus African. Every Black person of all over the world is against Africa. But they know how powerful we can be if all Black color, this color right here, unite and be together.
And so I think when we start moving towards having African Americans feel welcome into that space, as opposed to like, oh, well, you didn't like me back then, and you called me an African booty scratcher back then.
But it's not
so
your
now
fault.
I don't like you, or so now you're lazy, or so now I'm better than you, or I'm here and you're there. Like, it doesn't help anybody.
Like, you have no right to tell me, oh, because I was called African booty scratcher, I should quote unquote have to get over that.
Well,
right? And to me, it's kind of offensive, just because who are you to tell me how I'm supposed to feel?
Well, Africans probably think African Americans are lazy because of X, Y, and Z. So it's not all Africans, it's not all Americans.
I personally took offense to this, was that the reason that African men come and marry American women is because we are weak and easy to manipulate. Even with American men, they look at African women as that you guys are malleable and easy to manipulate and, impress.
But now we gotta go back to the root of all of this. It all comes from white people.
They're not all. Let's not say all. We're not here to generalize, because we don't want to have. We're not here to generalize. Okay, but it's not true though.
But what I'm saying is that my immediate ancestors are American. Mine.
Are they Black?
They're Black, but they're not African. It's a difference. The white people have classified us all as coming from Africa because we're all Black.
But if what you're saying is true, then you are more Hispanic or Asian than you are Black.
And I said it's not just Africans, it's other ethnicities as well who think the same thing.
It doesn't matter how it does. It just does.
I'm asking you a question.
It just makes it's just offensive. It's
Have an African perspective.
Let me call 10 Africans right now. You're not gonna get the real answer.
One of the
Child, it's a lot of folk in my comments. Okay, so things that have been said. Okay. First of all, I keep telling y'all, this is not a diaspora war. This is just me stating facts and y'all not liking them. Okay. So let's get into this. Why are Africans intent on cosplaying Black Americans? I'm gonna tell you why. It goes all the way back to slavery. Yes, I said it goes all the way back to slavery. Africans don't know nothing about slavery because they wasn't here. But first, I'm going to say, it actually doesn't pay to be African unless you're an entrepreneur. If they're not an entrepreneur, it do not pay to be African. It does not pay for this system to even clock you as African. The reason why a lot of BAs don't seem to know that is because they've been lying about it. Africans have been lying. Africans here in America, right? People from the African continent have been here in America lying about this. Okay, they have not been telling the truth. Let's get into the data though. Dimensions of inequality, Black immigrants, occupational segregation in the United States, okay? It says, because of their shared race, African and Caribbean immigrants may experience the same structural barriers as U.S.-born Blacks, right? Black people. However, researchers hypothesize that Black immigrants are advantaged in the labor market relative to U.S.-born Black Americans because of social network hiring and less discrimination by employers, right? So they went to go check this hypothesis to see if it was true. And this is something that Africans ran around saying was true. Consistent with previous work focusing on Hispanic immigrants, foreign-born Black people are highly overrepresented in a few occupations. African and Caribbean immigrants experience more occupational segregation from whites than the U.S. born, right? So than U.S. born Black people. With African immigrants, most segregated. Africans are also more segregated from U.S. born Blacks than Caribbean immigrants. Results of the regression analysis suggest that African immigrants are penalized rather than rewarded for educational attainment. And it says the authors find that the size of the co-ethnic population and the share of co-ethnics who are self-employed are associated with the decline in occupational segregation. Future research is needed to determine the impact of lower occupational segregation on the income of self-employed Black immigrants. So because of this segregation that was taking place in occupational positions, a lot of Africans now have chosen to become entrepreneurs because it was difficult out here in this labor force. And this is when you get to this is another study getting into, this was solely based on immigrants though, getting into their household incomes, right? And so sub-Saharan African are basically African groups from 51 different countries. And it was talking about their incomes relative to other immigrant groups, okay? So they are actually the lowest paid group of immigrants, but they are the highest, they are the most educated. So they have more degrees than their other immigrant counterparts, right? But they actually make less money than them and are actually more underemployed than them. Okay? And so here it goes where it talks about it again. Just read all through there. Okay? Read all through there. And it says, even compared to Black Americans have lesser employment than not lesser employment, y'all, I'm wrong. Have lesser education than African immigrants, but are still faring better in employment than African immigrants. Okay? Okay? And here they have a bunch of STEM degrees, right? A lot of Africans have STEM degrees. A lot of Caribbeans, they have more than U.S. born and immigrants from Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean, and other regions, except Asia, because Asia has more than them. Asians have more than them. But they are actually paid lower. They generally receive lower salaries for their jobs compared to their counterparts with similar degrees. So that means that Black Americans, Europeans, Latin American, other groups of immigrants are all making more than African immigrants. Caribbeans are making more than them too in the STEM field. So why is this important, and how does it stem to the plantation? Okay, let me tell you how. So in slavery, they had a caste system, okay, of how they ranked the worth of an enslaved person. American-borns were at the top, okay? American bred and born. This is when they had breeding plantations, et cetera, et cetera. Bred and born were at the top. Caribbeans were second, Africans were last, okay? So if they were putting them up there and they're like, oh, I need to buy some, okay? And they look in and they see it's an American, a Caribbean, and an African. First choice was the American. Second choice was the Caribbean. Last choice was the African. Okay? So back into even slavery, Africans learned to quickly assimilate. Because that was actually being held against them. And that's what is actually going on here. Now here's what I want to say to Africans though. Why y'all just wasn't honest about this shit? Why y'all just wasn't honest and told the truth? Okay, instead of running around saying we're more educated, which wasn't paying off for you, okay? Why not just say, hey, Black Americans, this is something that's going on. Instead of trying to play in people's faces. Men lie, women lie. Research and numbers don't lie.
Black people, let's be real. Y'all were bullying Africans. But hold on, African people. Y'all do have to admit that y'all do talk trash about Black Americans. We have to To get past this little hump that we have with each other, right? Black people all over the world, right? And I'm talking about, and I'm specifically aiming towards black people that live in America. All black people, if you're from Africa, if you're from Haiti, if you're from Jamaica, wherever. We all have to start admitting these things to get past these things and seeing why these things happen. I know why these things happen. White supremacy. So American media, when they showed us Africa, they showed black people in huts. They showed black people in pieces of clothing. They showed black people with face paint. They showed malnourished black people. They didn't show us that Africa was a prosperous place when we were younger. Of course, you could do the research when you get older, but some people are ignorant. They're not going to do the research. So that goes through their head for the rest of their life, right? I could say a lot of black people have that perspective maybe when they're younger because they don't know any better. And that could also be passed down from their family. But y'all also have a perspective about us that's passed down from y'all family. The side of it that we're ungrateful and blah, blah, blah. But we all went through struggles because of white supremacy and white colonization, right? Yeah, I think we all need to have an open dialogue on our issues with each other, or our issues that we claim we have with each other, so we can get past these issues. Because there's no point in having these issues. Our enemy is white supremacy. That's our enemy. And we see that every day. So, yeah, I think there's room for an open conversation.
Black Africans and Black Caribbeans and Black Americans are different. Black Africans and Black Caribbeans are closer, almost identical. They have high, and I'm generalizing now, but generalization is pretty accurate. They have high self-esteem and lower levels of confidence. Black Americans have higher levels of confidence and lower levels of self-esteem. Because of slavery lasted here longer, it was turned into a business, and it was an intentional desire to destroy your spirit, because if they had this black man here, coming here with all that build and all that brawn from, by the way, they say they went to Africa, oh, we're dumb, we're stupid. Knock that off. 1500s was an agricultural age. The wealthiest gold in America, in the world, were cotton crops and sugar crops and tobacco crops, which are in areas which were very humid, very hot, and the soil was almost dead. Who could master dead soil? Africans. So they went halfway around the world to find the geniuses of the soil. They brought us halfway around the world because we could build wealth for them and income. But they didn't need this brother's attitude. They needed his body. So they separated from his family, so he had no hope. They abused his wife and held him down so he couldn't protect her until he gave up his self-esteem. Now he's just machinery. So now, 400 years later, we never healed. So if I don't like me, I'm not going to like you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. If I don't respect me, don't expect me to respect you. If I don't love me, I don't have a clue how to love you. And here's the big one. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Whatever goes around, comes around. So we have high confidence, Jerome, because we've competed and succeeded against all odds in the biggest economy on the planet. So we have high confidence because we're competent, but we have low self-esteem, which is why you have crab in the barrel. It's why somebody's sitting there going, what is he talking about? My life? Why would anybody have anything with something positive to say right now? So if you got a problem with me, you need to check yourself. I don't even know you. So, as Quincy Jones once said, not 1 ounce of my self-esteem depends on your acceptance of me. So it's okay if you don't like me, I like me. Now, Black African, y'all, come on now, we having church in here. Now, Black Africans and Caribbeans experience slavery for a shorter period of time, and they experience family structure and role modeling for a longer period of time. The mayor was Black. The governor was Black. The premier was Black. The dentist was Black. The barber was Black. The thief was Black. Everybody was Black. Together families. So they have higher self-esteem. But they have lower confidence because they didn't succeed in a market economy. It makes perfect sense. So that's why when Black Africans or Caribbeans come here, within 2 or 3 years, they're killing it. The Ethiopians in Washington, D.C., they're at the Park Hyatt parking the cars. Within a couple of days, they've hired the buddies to be valets. Within a few weeks, they're also the taxi drivers. Within a couple months, they put the money in for an Uber car. Now they got a black car. Now they got 3 black cars. Now they live together. Now they have their entire staff in the front of the lobby. They have the valets. They got the taxi. They got the Ubers. They're willing to rent you an apartment if you want one. I mean, but that's because the hustle was the only ingredient that they missed, the opportunity. Black people, Black Americans are the role models for the world. But we've got a little bit confused because we think that's enough. We're also depressed. I think that 70% of Black Americans clinically undiagnosed depressed. And I can't prove that number. I love number. I can't prove that one. Whenever I talk to somebody, our people in a real conversation, can I get an amen? So when we're having a real conversation, we just have to heal so we can deal. Now, if we can heal, which is real wealth, and heal ourselves and love ourselves, now we can have a relationship. Now, in a relationship, it's the only time where it should be multiplication and not math. So if in a relationship, if 2 + 2 does not equal 6, 8, or 10, what are you doing? If you're not better together, what are you doing? When you go to the club tonight, what's tonight? Tonight's Saturday. When you go to the club tonight, what's tonight? Right. Entrepreneurs, we work 18 hours. They keep getting a job. We can work 18 hours and 6, and we have a nap for 3 hours. For 6 hours, that's it. So yeah, I don't know what day it is. You go to the club tonight? Oh man, she's fine. Oh, he's so handsome. What's your name? Oh, what's your credit score? And I'm only partially joking. After the looks fall away and the body falls away, that's your business partner for life. 2 + 2 should equal 6, 8, or 10. If you're not better together, what are you doing? So this thing we're talking about is about self-esteem is the entire ball game. If we can't fix this, we're done. No one else can hurt us. We'll hurt us. If we can fix this, I believe we will and we are. No one can stop us.
We got to talk about this too, y'all. I love how Black Americans just keep being proven right about shit that we're saying. Remember, we had this whole debate where Black Americans were like, we do not identify as African American, we identify as Black American. And we were talking about delineating, which is essentially separating our ethnic group and having our ethnic group established as a standalone group. Everybody argued us down and said, no, Black American and African American can be used interchangeably, etc., etc. When the reason why, we said that Black America has to be acknowledged as a standalone group is because we have people who came to this country who are actually from African countries and they are selecting African American. Boom. Have y'all seen the scandal going on with the mayoral candidate in New York? What's his name? Zoran Mandami, or however you pronounce it. Check this out. Boom. So here go buddy right here. Right? Here go buddy right here. Zoran Mamdani, who said he doesn't identify as Black or African American, checked several races in college form. Okay? So, the Democratic nominee for New York City mayor recently said that he does not identify as Black or African American. However, a New York Times report on Thursday revealed that the 33-year-old checked these particular races when he applied to Columbia University in 2009. The publication cited internal data derived from a hack of the college. As per the NYT, the data revealed that when Mandami was asked to identify his race on the application form, he checked a box that he was Asian, but also Black or African American. The report further added that reporting his race could have given the NYC mayoral candidate who was born in Uganda an advantage. So he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He is African American. He was born in Uganda. The report has sparked controversy, especially since Mandani on Thursday said that he does not consider himself either black or African American, but rather an American who was born in Africa. Mandani was not accepted in Colombia. Explaining his choice, he said most college applications don't have a box for Indian Ugandans, so I checked multiple boxes trying to capture the fullness of my background. He added that the application allows students to provide specific information where he wrote Ugandan. Now, Black Americans have been talking about this for quite some time because we said that what has been going on is that people who actually do come from the continent, which is fair, to choose and select African American, which they are. That's not a lie, right? And if it gives them the opportunity to fill in the country in which they are coming from to specify it, they will specify it. Okay? But this allows them to get into colleges off of whatever spaces as far as diversity goes, when there was diversity, equity, and inclusion, and affirmative action, et cetera, et cetera. It also allows them to qualify for scholarships that were specifically for Black Americans. It also allows them to qualify for business grants that were specifically for Black Americans, to qualify for first homebuyer programs, right? Or any other reparative justice efforts that were intended for the Black American community, right, to get to a place of equity and equality, right, to when they were trying to fix systemic poverty and economic alienation. These opportunities were going to people who came here directly from the African continent. And this is how Black Americans were actually getting shut out and getting skipped over. Okay. But then when you say, oh, Black Americans are getting shut out of these things, they say, no, Black Americans aren't getting shut out of these things. We have been doing for the African American community. We have been doing for the African American community. Now y'all see? And this is why they want you to continue to identify as African American, because they know they've been doing this. This is why they're mad and nervous and trying to talk Black Americans out of delineation, because they know exactly what they've been doing. And so for us to separate those things, to make sure that we are actually receiving the adequate funding, or the funding that is supposed to be allocated to us, right? They know that it would cut them off of access of it. There you have it.
Like I'm a American, I'm Jamaican, don't kill me here. Go kill a Black American. I'm don't kill me here.
No one's gonna get hurt, you're good.
Okay.
You know what? It's always funny to see the diaspora wars on the internet, between the Caribbean people and the African people, and the African Americans, or the American Africans, as Dr. Umar would say. Bro, first of all, Jamaicans, as much as you don't want to hear it, the reasons you don't get along with Nigerians so much is because we are the same people. Nigerians don't even get along with Nigerians. Ask anybody who knows both parties well. Jamaicans are just Nigerians with Congolese dress sense. Let's touch on Nigeria and Ghana for a second. We're always talking about this imaginary beef we got as Nigerians and Ghanaians. But the truth is, bro, that animosity there is between Ghanaians and Nigerians is an older generation. I know we kicked you out of the country at one point, but I said, man, I wouldn't claim to say I have intricate knowledge of Caribbean culture, but growing up in Northwest London, most of my friends were Caribbean. Even before it became popular to be African, we were definitely exposed more to Caribbean, nuances and vocabularies and just little ways of life. Before that, we were all doing Nolinga in the club, bro, listening to Ramping Shop and Movado and Vibes and them thing there. So I think for what I would like to see as a Pan-African, as a champion of Black excellence, and what I would like to see is the cultures coming together, man, and morphing into a whole different animal. Just I believe that when that amalgamation happens, it will be something so fucking beautiful that none of us will be ready for it. I know I'm ready for it. Like, there is there is knowledge to be had on both sides. And I think that when we get to a space as African people where we know ourselves a bit better and know our history, you know, that beautiful scene that I can see in my head will finally come to pass.
Y'all are on this app again fighting Caribbean, African American people, and Africans over the same fucking food. I'm Trinidadian Jamaican and I was born in the United States, and I find these petty ass arguments dumb as hell, and it just shows that a lot of us are just fucking uneducated. I like to look into this shit, and I like to realize, like, hey, listen, I like my two islands, but we do realize the food is similar. And I think coming in the comments, but when I mean by similar, I mean like the food, they're spawned off of different variations. Right, Jamaica will have their own thing, Haiti will have their own thing. You know what I'm saying? They each have their own variation of the food, but it comes from the same similar idea, right? From Africa, using stuff from Africa and just bringing the practices here. Like, I just never understood why it's a big fucking issue in the Big 25. I never understood why it was an issue to begin with. African Americans do their thing, Caribbean people do their thing, and it's like, just accept the fact, like, hey, y'all are the ones creating differences. You do know that, right? Like, there's no difference at all. There's no difference. Like, each way that chicken's probably made or whatever, it's like different variations, and it's made differently. But like, you know, it's somewhat similar. It's somewhat similar, right? Different regions. Shared history. I don't see what's not correlating through people's heads. And like, yeah, I'm a proud Trinidadian Jamaican, but it's like, when I really think about it, I'm just proud to just be black at the same time. I'm just proud to be someone. You know, I'm just proud to be me. I'm just proud to be someone. Because it's like, you know, I'm not going to fight down the place. I'm prideful, yes, but I'm not going to fight down the place and be like, oh my God, I'm Jamaican Trinidadian. I'm Jamaican Trinidadian. Like, at the end of the day, we were all slaves, right? We were all slaves. We were all slaves. We were all fucking slaves. Like, and we have the option to come to the United States. We have the option to go to the Caribbean, vice versa. And there's a whole history with the whites too, the non-racist whites. We'll get into that in another video, and then just going back and forth, which also shows that in proof and in theory, the history also overlaps with them too. But like I said, that's a different story. And it's like, we can just be so much more educated on one another. Like, I do feel like Caribbean and African Americans, we need to have like that close bond and not fight over each other's foods and fight over each other's cultures. Who gives a fuck if you're from an island? Who gives a fuck if you're from the United States? I feel like that shouldn't even be like a problem. You know, who gives a fuck if you have an accent? Like, that shouldn't be a problem, right? But I think we want to make up these styles and be like, oh, we're this, we're this, we're this, we're this, we're this. Oh, we're Jamaican, or we're this, and that. Oh, we're Haitian, this, that. And it's fine to be prideful of your country, right? It's one thing to be prideful of where you're from, but to go to do that, we're better than you, and this, and that. That's like, you're dragging it at that point. You're taking it upon yourself to create division that probably doesn't need to be created. You know, it's like, Caribbean people, they don't want to educate themselves on African Americans. African Americans don't want to educate themselves on Caribbean people, and they don't want to accept the fact that, hey, our stuff is coming from Africa, and we have shared history. Even if we can't go back, why not have closer bonds with one another? You know, why not be close with one another rather than have division? Why mock one another? Why make fun of one another? Why make fun of each other's food? Why make fun of each other's slang? Why make fun of the region that they're in? Why compare trauma and history? Like, it gets to a point. And I wish too there was more education. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm really not from the Caribbean at all. I'm really from here. Like, when I say I'm from here. But correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's like full emphasis on education with Africans and African Americans and Caribbean people and how we all just intertwine into one thing. And there's not like acceptance that we're just all like in different land masses, but we're the same people, you know? I don't know. I've just never understood the division that y'all are trying to do. This forced division on, oh, we're superior because we're African American, oh, we're superior because we're Jamaican, oh, we're superior because our food season, this, and that. You know, it's very fucked up, man. It's very fucked up, and it's very stupid. It's very stupid. Why not accept the fact that, hey, African Americans had a history and they were born in the United States. You had history and you were born in whatever Caribbean island. It might be different, but, you know, I wish, because there was proof of multiple times where leaders like Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey tried to bring everyone together, and we just shut them off. It's the worst failed thing that I've ever seen. I hate the fact that this division is going on, and I hate the fact that with this division, people want to exclude themselves. Like, Caribbean people are like, that's fine, we don't like African Americans. No, like, educate some of them, you know, or African Americans, educate the ignorance and stand up for yourselves and come to respect one another. Come with a cultural respect. It's getting better, I will say, but it's like, no, you can't do that. Like, Caribbean people, I understand y'all want to stick with something familiar, but they only want to stick with Caribbean people. African Americans only want to stay with African Americans. Like, you can live anywhere. You're a part of, y'all do realize y'all are part of American history too, right? You know? Working alongside African Americans, and I don't know. I can't say much because I feel like it's gonna turn into a whole comment war in this when it really shouldn't be. But I'm gonna let y'all, like, I don't know. Next video.
I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Caribbeans and Africans are almost the same thing." Yeah, I agree. We are, and that's because our upbringing is almost the same way. And what we have in common, that's Black Africans and Caribbeans, is that we were products of spanking and slaps. Every small thing, every small thing. And that's why today in this digital age, we all will come here, Caribbeans and Africans, and we'll find similarities in our upbringing, very much. Because the slaps and the spankings we got growing up, And not to say that Black Americans are not in this group chat, but let me explain to you the difference. It's very different when they're spanking you in a country that you know you cannot do anything about it. But you see, the Black American kids that were brought up, they got spankings, they did. But there was still, I'm gonna call the police on you. That alone, it's different. But you see, back in Africa and the Caribbean, shit, no police. It's you, your God, your parents, and that spanking whatever. It's either the hand or the shoe, or it's just the four of you existing in that space. If you survive it, to God be the glory. If you die, to God be the glory. That's the difference. I just thought about it today. Wanted to share.
Alright, so the lady upset me say. Now here's my take on this, right? Okay, so she upset like press button. We all know there's been this cultural difference between, Africans versus Caribbeans, where it looks like they don't like us, which may or may not be a fact, but that's not the thing. We shouldn't be that pressed if another culture doesn't rate us or like us, because at the end of the day, we should be in our own league. That's number one. Way how you delivered your message, if you was trying to make a point or bring awareness to the situation, was incorrect, because there was too much vim in your message for it to ever be received in the way how you wanted it to be received, if there was good intention behind it. I'm not enabling the intrusion, however, we intrude on other people's stuff as well. You can't fling stone in a glass house. And also, we can't fight over stuff that is not ours. Carnival is not ours. And we're in the wrong country to be arguing about who owns what. It's the UK, everything's diverse, everything mix and blend. And what the argument? And when I say carnival is not ours, I mean it is from the Caribbean, however, it's the Trinis culture. Jamaicans just partake.
It's probably one of the best comments I've ever seen. And this is a thinking person. Let's get into it. It says Caribbean people believe that YHT people like immigrants more than Black Americans. It's a myth. Wake up, people. It surely is a myth. You know why these Caribbean people believe that? I'm going to tell you why. When they come to America as an immigrant, they're sold the false myth that Black Americans are lazy and do not want to work. What that myth does is trick them psychologically so they could overwork themselves to look better, right, on paper than Black people in America do. Not realizing that the Black people in America build what you're standing on. That's how it is. The Black people in America, they build what you came here to stand on. So you could come here and achieve the right to vote, the right to get a job, the right to take a bus and not sit in the back, the right to use the same public restrooms, the right to do a lot of different things. So Black people in America fought for that right for you, Caribbean people. You understand? And when you get to the United States, instead of saying thank you or appreciating Blacks in America, what you do, you run with this false myth that Black people in America are lazy, they don't want to work, and you're here to outwork them, and you look good and they look bad. That I know it's in a lot of your heads because you don't study American history. You understand? You don't realize the amount of Black people that died so other Blacks could come here and enjoy the privileges you have in America today. You dig what I'm saying? And I've been saying this forever. You don't get it. Like Caribbean people, stop riding this bandwagon. Black people in America are not lazy. They're tired. They are tired because unlike your country, Caribbean country that you came for, they're not the majority in America. Blacks in America are not the majority, right? And what's in America? Systematic racism and deliberate oppression towards Black people for decades, because a lot of racists are pissed off that Blacks in America no longer have to work for free for them. So they're mad at Black people. So what they do, they import you, the Caribbean people, and sell you a story, which is a unique divide and conquer technique. So they divide Black people. This is why you find some Black Americans who do not like Caribbean people, right? Because they realize you don't understand the depth of what's going on here or what happened here. This is why you find it. Besides those who are just xenophobic, there's some Black people in America, they don't like Caribbean people because you're lost. You don't study. You get what I'm saying? And you try to disrespect them. They didn't leave America and come to the Caribbean. You left the Caribbean and came to America. So they didn't come to your house. You came to their house. Get that here. You dig what I'm saying? And instead of opening your ear, listening, open your cranium, read, understand, study history, get the facts, you run with a false narrative and think you're better than somebody, in which way you're not. Okay, you're not better than nobody. You dig? So all the Caribbean people who come to America and pick up this narrative that you were sold by racists, drop it. You need to stop it. It's probably one of the best comments I've ever seen.
For Africans, and this message is for Africans and Caribbeans. Now, I have had challenges with people of those communities in my life, but I've also had positive interactions and even friendships, relationships with those people. I need y'all to understand. Actually, I don't need you to understand. I'm just trying to put y'all on alert, okay? This is a courtesy call. But you all should not take offense to us returning to ourselves. This what's happening right now is good for everyone. Even though when I see it and when we see it, it's not about it being good for everyone. It's just healthy. It's just healing. You all should be able to respect the space and the time that we're doing this and not take offense. And I feel like the only people who would have offense of us returning to ourselves in this land that we've been in for countless centuries, and we have documented existence in these lands. I feel like the only people who would have a problem with that are people who have something to lose from us returning to ourselves. And in that case, I mean, I can't help you with that. Sorry for you. But for those people who love us, and y'all know, because we love you back, this is a good time. Y'all should be celebrating with us that we are returning to ourselves. And I think it's not just us here in America. I think it's all over the planet. We are all remembering ourselves and who we are. You know, the colonization spells and all the manipulations and education and everything, all of that, the veil has been lifted. And I'm so excited to be in this time. And everybody needs to just chill out. Because the thing is we're not going to reverse on this. We're not going to reverse. And so, you know, if you want to be in partnership with us, you know, I mean, you got to be able to accept us for who we are, not who you've been told we are. And stop trying to tell us who we are, because we know who we are. Our grandparents have told us, our great-grandparents have told us who we are. And many of us are doing the work to uncover all the nuances and the manipulations in between. And this is good for us. This is healing. And I know y'all pride yourselves on ancestors. A lot of us are returning to our ancestors because the disconnect has been real. You know, I think a lot of y'all don't understand what it's like for us, because we have, you all, many of y'all come from nations where it's predominantly you. And when you're at home, when you go to work and everything in between, it's predominantly people who look like you. And it has not been that way here in this land for us for many generations. And so our perspective on these exchanges is completely different. And also I need y'all to understand that we have been at war for centuries. This is not new at all. You all are just in the middle of it, and you're collecting the spoils that are left behind as we continue to progress in this battle. And it's beyond a battle of physicality. It's a spiritual battle. We are fighting continued attempts of erasure and destiny swapping. But the difference is that now that we are returning to ourselves, not just as beings in this land, but beings of this land, we're remembering what our ancestors said. We're acknowledging them. We are remembering the land. We are connecting with nature and everything in between, because the revolution, or whatever you want to call it, it will not be televised. It's just happening. And we're gatekeeping. And even if we don't gatekeep, you really won't know what's going on, because we are just being in this time. We're tired of just being humans doing things. We are being the human beings that we are. And that's a good thing. You should celebrate that. And if anything, I hope it inspires you to recognize that you all have a mandate as well to return to yourselves. You come from lands you pride yourself on. Your lands need you, because while you're bringing your best and brightest here, who's being left behind to invest in, to build up, to progress your people? We have not left, and we are not leaving. Everybody sees that. Everybody knows that. And that's why they hate us, because we just won't leave. We just won't go away. The resilience is supernatural. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. I hope, I'm not a person where I just want to be at beefing with everybody, even though most of the time it seems that it's directed towards us, because we're not out here consciously going after people. No, it's like we're just walking down the street and someone just want to throw something at us, or call us out our names, or try and trick us out our spot, and then we react. Okay? While you're here in this land, I would encourage you at this point to really learn our history. Take the time to learn our history, because you are in our land. And one thing about us, for the most part, when we travel, we respect that there are cultural differences, and we come humble. And we try, for the most part. I ain't saying everybody. I know there's some stragglers out there that just take the ratchetness wherever they go. But for the most part, we educate ourselves before we go anywhere to make sure that we're appropriate and that we respect where we are. And so now that you're here, just do the same. Learn our history from us. Because what you've been taught by your sponsors, and it's not all true. It's not all true. Now, I believe that we can be our own people and still work together with y'all. Yeah, and still collaborate from time to time for the advancement of all people. But please understand, in this time, we are healthily investing and restoring ourselves as a people in this land. And at the end of the day, I believe that's going to be the betterment for the whole nation, for all of America. This message is for Africans and Caribbeans.
Now people are saying that Latinos didn't know that Black Americans are not immigrants. Child, I just don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. It makes sense, though, because the narrative that I've always heard about, why don't Black Americans have the same drive or take initiative, or, the narrative that we're lazy, even though we worked here for free. Like, didn't you know that? Didn't you know that our ancestors worked for free for hundreds of years? Like, I thought that was common knowledge. But I guess it's not. Like, this is really bad. If this is the case, why do you even need to take away critical race theory? People don't know it now. Might as well leave it in place. They don't know it. Right now, they don't even know the history of black people in America. I just don't even know what to say at this point. It's way worse than I thought it was. But I do feel like Paul Mooney, that people are getting their Negro wake-up call, but in Spanish, they Latin wake-up call, they Hispanic wake-up call, because they learn it now.
Black Brits refuse to accept that Black Americans are not immigrants. That's why when she said, oh, we have our own version of soul food too, she went off and listed a bunch of African and like predominantly Black countries. Because soul food to them, they've decided it means food that Black people eat, completely stripping it of its history. They feel to give Black Americans ownership over the cuisine that they created would be like exalting them in some way. Like it's a competition? I don't know. Well, girl, if it was a competition, you're lucky it's not a competition. Soul food is not just the types of food that Black people eat. And no one is going to allow you to bastardize it in such a way. It's so disrespectful. It's so fucking disrespectful. Why don't Africans in America have a hard time wrapping their mind around this? The fact that Black Americans aren't immigrants. I, as an Ethiopian, it never confused me, the concept. I did the math and I was like 1,400. So 700. I think this is their shit.
What do you mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Y'all thought Black people, Black Americans, African Americans, Blacks, us, were immigrants. The hardest lessons, clearly, it's going to take me a long time to learn and figure out is that other people just don't know what I know. I assume that a lot of people know what I know. That's why y'all keep saying that, huh? That makes sense, I guess. That we're next. Y'all think, what? How do y'all not know how long we've been a part of this country? Black people fought in the Crispus Attucks. Did everybody not, at my little church, every Black History Month, there was this huge thing. I'll never forget when I came to my grandma's house. It was a huge package, and it was all of these cards. They were ABC cards, but on every card, letter of the alphabet and an important person from Black history. And that was what we did all February at Sunday school. Like, we learned those cards. We would have to, and then we'd line up at like the Black History program, and we'd have to read them out loud. So I guess I just assumed, oh my God.
Because my post is about Black Americans, which you're not a Black American, even though you want to cosplay as one, because you already said that your parents are immigrants. So unless one of your parents is a Black American, you're not a Black American. And you already said that you were Caribbean. So you saying that you're Black American is not correct, because Black American is an ethnicity, honey. And not only that, you're commenting on a post that's in response to somebody calling Black Americans white, because we are stating that if you are not in favor of Black Americans receiving reparations, then you do not deserve us to care about your issues, because you're not caring about ours. It's giving that y'all move here, y'all migrate here, and you believe that Black Americans are still the slaves of the land, and that we're supposed to continuously work for every other group while we sit back and we get nothing in return. Every fight that Black Americans have fought for in this country, unfortunately, we have not been able to reap the full benefits of each and individual thing that we fought for. Every system put in place that immigrants get when they come here, because as much as y'all like to deny that y'all don't get assistance, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Y'all be talking about, I came here with no money in my pocket, and all of a sudden y'all own businesses, y'all own cars, y'all own homes. Please, please, stop it. This is that xenophobic, anti-Black American rhetoric that I'm talking about. Anytime we bring up anything that's a specific issue within the Black American ethnicity community, here comes one of you talking about y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all really think that we should put our stuff aside and concentrate on you? Latinos are not in community with Black Americans. Like, let's be for real. Y'all talking about Afro-Latinos, the same ones who come over here and claim everything as our culture is theirs and say that we have no culture. I just seen a video of a Puerto Rican girl saying that it's not Black American culture in Chicago, where a ton of Black people from the South moved to Chicago. That's why there's such a high population of Black Americans. And our very culture, a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans are in their Puerto Rican parade doing Black American dances to Black American sounds, inspired sounds, and had the audacity talking about, this isn't Black American, this is Chicago culture. That's the erasure that y'all do when you come here. So absolutely not. We are not going to care about your issues anymore. The fact that we bring up our issues that are impacting our culture, and in response, you guys always bring up whatever issue that is impacting you like it's bigger than the program. It's not bigger than the program, babes. We, as the newest generations that are coming up, we are no longer putting other communities ahead of ours for the sake of just Blackness. Because when y'all come here, y'all make it super clear that y'all are a different type of Black. Y'all only want to say that y'all are united in Blackness because when it benefits you. Remember, I know Black. That's right, you're not, because Blackness has always been established in the United States of America as our ethnicity. Blackness has not been established as an ethnicity in any other part of this world. Blackness is a race, and also in America for foundational Black Americans, it's an ethnicity. So you can take your yap off my page, because at the end of the day, over here, it's Black American pride. Black American. So don't cosplay Black American unless you have a parent who's actually Black American, because the only parent that you spoke on was your mother, and you said that she was an immigrant. So I don't know what your father is. Maybe you're half Black American, but let's not get it twisted. My post is about seeking reparations, not about immigration. Bye-bye.
So I'm going to do one more video because I've read some of the comments on the 3 videos that I did earlier tonight. And I'm not sure I'm going to answer them, but I may just answer them in here. Dear Black people of the diaspora, of the African diaspora, of the Caribbean diaspora, of every country's diaspora, let's give each other grace. Let's not fight with each other about where we came from. As far as I know, Africa is the mother continent for every race, for everybody in the world. If you can trace your lineage to American Black people, bless you. But don't denigrate the experience of the descendants of the enslaved, of which I am. Well, I'm actually descendant of the enslaved and descendant of people from the Caribbean. I think it's a waste of our energy. We should be educating each other and uplifting each other. Not trying to be right and say, your people didn't come from Africa. Well, some of us did. I believe every race came from Africa. I'm going to go back to that. But if your lineage traces to a certain place, be proud of that. Just don't disrespect anybody else's lineage. Peace. Just one more thing. That's what the white man definitely wants. That's what the colonizers definitely want. And if you are feeding them that, you are not helping us to come together. And we should be coming together in 2025 and beyond, worldwide. Just saying.
I couldn't agree more with this comment right here. It says African Americans and Caribbeans are the children of Africa. It's time to embrace our ancestral roots and unite to tackle shared challenges. Leaders like Ibrahim Traore echo Malcolm X's powerful words. And that's real. That's real. I rather give my energy to connecting and uniting with like minds, other Pan-Africanists, no matter where you're from. You could be from Jamaica, you could be from the UK, you could be from Nigeria, you could be from Senegal, you could be from Seattle. I don't care. If we on the same page in terms of our mindset, then we can work together. People in the comments sowing division, hatred, y'all could go find someplace else to do it. Because like I said, that's agents of white supremacy. You're an agent of white supremacy.
So you're calling me a xenophobic because I don't want other groups of people coming inside my culture, pushing their narratives and their own people inside of something that was started for Black Americans, like the Essence Festival. I mean, shit. If that's the case, you might as well call me the xenophobic king. Because listen, I believe in elite division. I believe in separation, delineation, all of that. This whole narrative that Black people got to all come together as one collective group, don't nobody do that shit. So I don't know why they trying to enforce it on us. Look at Asia. The Japanese don't like Chinese. There's no problem. They respect each other's culture. You motherfuckers don't know respect and get mad when you get called out for it. Listen, I'm not no Pan-Africanist, and I don't believe in everybody being one. But if there is one story from Africa or one leader from Africa that I do admire, or I do like his teachings, it's Shaka Zulu. If you paid attention to Shaka Zulu and his story, he believed in division. He understood that all skin folks ain't kin folks. And he led with that. And while everybody thought he was crazy for thinking that other tribes of blacks weren't one group of people and everybody had their own agenda, when he died, sooner or later, they came to find out that the fall of the empire came from bringing all groups of people inside their tribe. See what I'm saying? So as a Black American, I'm taking that same teaching, taking that same example, and then applying it to my people. Don't let all the motherfuckers in here. Not all of them deserve to be here. So call it what you want. Xenophobic, racist, prejudice, all that shit. I'm all of it. We here now. The delineation is here. Whether you want to call yourself FBA, ADOS, it's happening. And don't feel bad, because these other groups of people, they're not coming to America to help us. They're coming to America to do what they did at Essence Festival, which is take over the things that we started, the things that we built, and they want a part of it. They just want to take. See what I'm saying? But haven't you noticed everything that they touch that we built, it starts to fall apart? Right. So we got to be like Shaka Zulu. Cut them out.
Been on my heart heavy, and I wanted to speak on this before I eat my cantina chicken bowl from Taco Bell, okay? Black people, I don't think y'all understand the type of situation we're in. We getting attacked from every direction, from everybody. I know that we've been separating ourselves from all these groups, but we need to step it up a notch. If you are non-FBA, we need to separate from you. All non-FBAs, separate from them. All of these Kai Sanat, Busta Rhyme ass motherfuckers that's not from here, these Black people who they family lineage is in the Caribbean somewhere, or in Haiti, or in fucking Africa, something like that, we need to separate from them. They are just as dangerous and just as detrimental as the white boy down the street. I was looking at these videos about Carmelo Anthony, and it's even deeper than that. But I was looking at these videos from Carmelo Anthony, and I noticed something. Majority of the Black people that were talking shit about Carmelo Anthony, they weren't FBA, they weren't from here. All I hear is these accent-having motherfuckers who want to talk shit about Carmelo Anthony, calling him, he's a criminal, he's a criminal. All these motherfuckers, I'm tired of them. We getting attacked from these racist motherfuckers who don't want us to have nothing. We getting attacked from the government. We already got this gender war. Now we got to worry about immigrants, and we got to worry about not only immigrants, Black people from other places that want to attack us. So I'm calling for a mass 2.0 delineation. Like, all of you Kai Sanat, you know, you Big Groove or Big Smooth motherfuckers, you Busta Rhyme ass motherfuckers, get out of here. I'm tired. And it's so dangerous because they be camouflaging. They be camouflaging with us. They be sitting here eating our food, talking our lingo, all up in our culture, man. They be coming over here eating off of us like a bunch of fucking piranhas. Just eating off us, bro. We so busy fighting amongst each other that we don't really understand what danger we in. We need healing. We've been broken down, beaten down, and infiltrated so much that we haven't had time to recover. And it's just accelerating. When you go to the gym and you work out, there's this thing called muscle plateau. If you keep beating your muscles down and you never give them time to recover, you'll end up tearing your muscle. That's how people tear their muscles. We've been the #1 target for everybody. And pretty soon, I think we're going to get to a point of no return. It's too many people aiming at us and trying to destroy us. And in the process, we're not recovering. We just adapting to it. And we just learning to accept it. We learning to accept the bullshit. And it's making things worse. We need to separate.
ain't gonna believe this. So Casanat said black Americans don't got no culture. Listen.
So this is a prime example of what I say. We are not the same. See, other minority groups cosplay black Americans, foundation black Americans. And once they get $2 from cosplaying and acting like you and yo-yo-yoing, right? As soon as they get their little bit of money, they back talking about how you don't have no culture, back talking about how we not the same. Bro, listen, we need to separate from all of these other minority groups, bro, that look like us, bro. We don't need no involvement. Stop letting them borrow our culture, everything, bro. We don't need to be associated with each other anymore because we see, look, as soon as they make money off of us, they back talking shit. Pay attention.
For those of us that have been following me with our wifey that just came to the UK 7 months ago, that called the police on her husband. Uncle called me and explained further that he wanted to go to the house to get his things and politely messaged and say after the night that the police said he's not allowed to come to the house. Madam said no, you need to speak to the police. Uncle called the police. The police said you don't have any order, any restraining order or anything not to come home. You people, you don't know that everything in this country is, there has to be things in place. A police cannot just take laws into his hands. You can't go to your house if the courts have not actually put anything in place. So it's auntie that is doing her power, thinking that she's in Nigeria. Anyway, Uncle too, because he's smart, he said that when he then went to the house, he then told the police that, well, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I wouldn't want to go home, and then she would make an accusation against me. My name is Raquel Morenike, a mental health specialist who talks to you and bring all these things so that you don't have a mental health issue or you don't get into such a situation, or if you are, or if you do, you know what to do. So the police said, okay, that's fine. If that's the case, you wait for us. He had to tell the police that, well, he's got some important documentation in that house that he needs to get. So the police then went. He said he got to the property. The police shark came about an hour or two later. Obviously, he just wanted the police presence as, you know, as an evidence, somebody there. In the case where you don't have if the police don't turn up, you don't, because police generally, you know, this is not what they're really there for, but it's okay, they can, as a backup. You can take your friend, take a church member, take a colleague, but make sure the person has their phone ready to record any jagbajantis as he wants to do. Or if it's uncle, but in this case we're talking about auntie who pushed her husband out and making a lot of accusation against him. Uncle realized that auntie had started application for Aduru asylum seeking, where they will give her house, everything for her and her children. And Mila Russia, that's all I will say. Well, if you want to do that kind of thing, or maybe that's your reason why you're doing some things, don't try and get the other person into trouble to get them to prison or anything. My fellow gender. Anyway, Uncle said as they opened the door to enter, Madam got up. Did you tell me you're coming? Did you tell me you're coming? I'm gonna call the police on you. She now saw police officers. She now calmed down. So they just packed all his things, called an Uber, and he left. Somehow, he's been able to see what Auntie is doing through maybe whatever. Auntie has been asked, you said this guy is domestic, physically abusive towards you. Provide us evidence. Auntie is now sending him messages upon messages. You remember when you said, so that Uncle can answer, if you are in such a situation, Yahweh, she's looking for evidence. Zip it. Like they say, no answer. Silence is an answer that you need when you have a wife that has told you that she will send you to prison. Silence. Silence is all you need. Let her send you anything from today to tomorrow. Zip it. Because whatever you respond back in a text or voice note, she wants to send it as evidence. So be smart, guys. Be smart. If her wahala is too much, change your phone. Change your phone or block her off your phone. And it's so bad they can you. I don't even know. I cannot wake up. But just be smart. Women, a woman can send you to prison so quick, within a blink in this UK. Take care and have a good day. Bye for now.
Who the fuck you guys think you are, you motherfuckers? Can you please say that? Fuck you, bitch. What the fuck you doing, dude? Did you fucking touch a fucking animal, huh? Like a fucking animal? You fucking piece of shit, motherfuckers. Fucking bitch, motherfuckers. This isn't fucking Germany, you fucking punk. Sorry, dog. Hey, sorry for your luck, homie. Fuck.
Lẹ́yìn tèmi ṣé dáadáa lẹ́wà ẹ jọ ìkan náà followers mi ló ní kí n bóun post fídíò yìí so ó máa wà ní comment section so ẹ jọ ẹ bá mi drop comment ẹ jọ ẹ bá mi drop comment kẹ́dẹ̀ ẹ bá mi share fídíò yìí ẹ bá mi share gan ẹ jọ so nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí máa yìí òun àtìyàwó ẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ méjì wọ́n relocate wá sínú ìlú yìí ó ti ń lọ síbi ọdún méjì báyìí so ìyàwó ẹ̀ yẹn ni main applicant ọkọ àtàwọn ọmọ ní dependent so nǹkan tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí àwọn méjì ní issue ọkọ àtìyàwó wọ́n ní issue so issue yẹn ṣàpọ̀ rẹ́kẹrẹ́kẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé ìyàwó ṣàpọ̀ ọlọ́pàá sọ́kọ so kàṣà máa fọ̀rọ̀ ogun àwọn council gbalẹ̀ wọ́n fún ìyàwó nílé àti àwọn ọmọ wọ́n ṣàfún wọn nílé tó yẹn pé kìnnìkan ìyàwó dẹ̀ kọ méèlì sí ilé ńlá home office wípé òun àtọkọ òun ò jọ sí mọ́ pé kọ́ cancel visa ọkọ àwọn yẹn ṣáà send message ọkọ pé wọ́n fún ní 60 days bla 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 pé kọ́kọ́ lọ wá another thing or else kó kẹ́rù ẹ̀ kó máa lọlé so ọkọ ṣáà fine way ẹ̀ ó ṣáà lọ in one way or the other ó ṣáà sọ̀tà rẹ̀ so nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ góńgó lélẹ̀ visa ìyàwó ti runs out nsìn visa ìyàwó ó ti tán visa ti expire báyìí òun àtàwọn ọmọ so nísìn àwọn ilé ńlá rẹ̀ ti disturb ẹ̀ pé kó lọ submit application or kó kẹ́rù ẹ̀ kó máa lọ sílé àwọn kìnìún rẹ̀ sì láwọn náà máa gbalé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ and all that so nísìn báyìí nsìn ìyàwó ti wá padà lọ bẹ ọkọ ó wá lọ ń bẹ ọkọ nsìn kọ́sọ́kọ́ tó wà lórí COS ó ti ní paper ó ti ní document tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó fi ń gbèlú ó ti Ọlọ́run ti bá ṣe so nísìgbà ìyàwó wà lọ ń bẹ ọkọ nsìn pé kó jọ kó hard òun àtàwọn ọmọ sórí COS tó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ọkọ wa ní rárá ọkọ lóhun ò lè ṣe láíláí pé because nǹkan tó fojú òun rí kìnnìkan ọkọ ò dá lóhùn so òun ní ọkọ ṣe gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí wá pé kí n jọ pé kí bóun post ẹ̀ dó ọkọ ti lóhun ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ mọ́ ó ti lóhun ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ mọ́ wípé òun ti lẹ́lòmíì tóhun ti ń rí and all that because and ilé ńlá dẹ̀ ti mọ̀ wípé àwọn méjì ìyàwó ti send message sí ilé ńlá ńgbà yẹn pé àwọn méjì ò jọ sí mọ́ tí ilé ńlá dẹ̀ ti fagilé kíní ọkọ ńgbà yẹn so nísìnyí báyìí ìyàwó wa ń bẹ ọkọ báyìí wípé kó jọ pé kó má bà tòun jẹ́ pé kó ṣàánú òun kó hàdé òun sí kó fóun ní COS ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ohun àtàwọn ọmọ kán lè gbé wọlé ọkọ kẹ̀dẹ̀rẹ́ ọkọ ti yarí báyìí so ọkọ máa wà ní comment section báyìí ó fẹ́ mọ̀ ipe ṣé nǹkan tóun ṣe yẹn wà òkè àbí kò wà òkè so ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi share video yẹn bá mi drop comment because ó máa wà ńbẹ̀ ẹ ṣé gan.
UK police held a seminar to speak to Nigerian women especially with regards to them always calling the police on their husband at every slight provocation. And when I heard that story, I thought it was not true because I understand and I know the situation with how the women abroad, especially Nigerian women, like to weaponize the police against their husbands. I really feel strongly that some of them, these Nigerian women, really plan it. Like, when I reach UK, I could show this man Pepe. Honestly. So, I know that that situation is true, that women do weaponize the police against their husbands. But I didn't think it was true that it was that bad that the UK police had to hold a seminar to speak to these women. I thought it was all made up story. And then today, I am realizing from the kind of people that are speaking to this issue that it is actually true that indeed there was seminar held to speak to these women about their behavior, which I say I'm like, how can you disgrace yourself to this point? That you come to a country where they advise women to call police. They advise, but you have not taken your own to a point where a country that encourages people to call police is now saying you are doing it too much. It tells you the level at which these women have done it, to a point where it's now looking like the women are really, really out to destroy their husbands. It's scary. Especially, like, this was not a problem. This was not a problem for years now, but it's now looking as if that, like, these new migrants that move abroad are now, really weaponizing the system. And I blame social media. Some of these women don't have friends, but when they hear all this, their rubbish information on social media, all these women that talk trash and teach them evil things, they take it on board and they use it to destroy their own family. It is really scary. If this does not tell you that something is wrong with our society, I don't know what else is going to tell you. And as women, we should learn. It's not every single quarrel, every single thing that happens in your home that the first thing that comes to your mind is, let me go and deal with this man. Because most of them know that they can't touch the man. They can't, some of them will beat their husbands and they still call the police. But they know that if it's a fist fight, they will not win. So they weaponize the police to come and kick the man out of the house, destroy their families, because they've heard this rhetoric now. If you are single, they will give you this benefit, they will give you that benefit. You can be free to do whatever rubbish you want to do. You're in the Western world, anything is allowed. So they forget their home training and they want to, do whatever it is they like. Now the system that encourage people to come and report any domestic violence situation, they are telling people that it's enough. When I heard it the first time, I was like, no, I don't think it can be true. UK will like me, they report people to them. UK police system, where they beg women to come and report, are the ones telling these women to Zulu Kwanike. That is to tell you how shameless these women have acted. And as Nigerian women, all over the world where we travel, we should not build up bad reputations for ourselves. Respect your husband. Marriage is not bread and butter. There will be quarrels, there will be fights. But you should be smart enough in how you handle it. That is not every single thing that you're going out to go and report to the police so that they can come and humiliate your husband, so that they can come and carry your husband out of the house and emasculate him, so that when he comes back, he go act like a dog with water pouring, but he no go fit talk again because he go fear say, oh, police will come arrest him. So I want to even thank the police for actually doing the right thing and calling these women out on their BS, so that at least they will know that the police is not stupid. They know when the women are now becoming, overreacting to situation and weaponizing the police to destroy their own family. You have to be smart, because if you destroy your family, you destroy your children. Your children need their father. Your children need their father more than they need anything. Most of the reason why most children in the Western world, they are wayward, is because of no fathers. And you don't want to put yourself in that statistics. So listen to what the police have said. And don't weaponize the police against your husband. You will only destroy your family and destroy your children. I hope they've learned now. And the ones that are intending to come, I hope you have learned. Don't come here and say you're working out to destroy your husband. It does not make sense. You can always talk things out. These women, Nigerian women, make una try get small shame.
My African people, if at all you're gonna ring the police, if it's not life and death, if it's literally not emergency, Oga, auntie, is 101. Stop ringing 999. My husband's locked the door, he's not letting me in. Stop ringing 999. I got home from work, my wife's locked the door. Don't let them start laughing at us now. These facilities, we don't have it in our own African countries. Now we want to come and mess it up for the people that have it. You're ringing 999 because your wife refuses to let you in. Seriously, that's somebody else. Maybe that point, that line, you're blocking it for a more emergency situation. So please, let us just be guided. My name is Raquel Morenica, a mental health specialist. I talk to you about the things that if it happens to you or somebody you know, some of these things can actually cause you to start thinking you want to buy yourself. Like, what's the point of me being here? These are things I've heard recently. After spending also all of that money on my wife or on my husband, now I'm not good enough. Now he's doing this, he's doing that. Anyway, still on the matter, I'm not supporting men, but letting men know that there is support out there for them. And some of the things you have to do, uncle, auntie, take it easy. You get back from work, you try to answer, your wife has already called the police.
maybe made allegation. You're saying that it's not true. I was not there. I'm not there. Made an allegation that you did this, you did that. Now the police have said you are not allowed to go in. You message and say, okay, let us talk about these things amicably. All the things you were doing for me in Nigeria, you think shebi is you that you think you're smart, shebi you are this, you are that. I heard the voice note from the woman, and even me myself as a lady, I'm like, kilo letonye. Let us work amicably as parents. Even if you're no longer interested in me as a husband, now me still bring you. Be appreciative. You are now in a country where there's law, so he shouldn't be hitting you. If he was doing that before, not that he should have, he would, you can stand up for yourself. But Emma, don't let us become an element of ridicule in front of the law in this country. The police, social services and all that, they'll just be looking at, these Nigerians again, these Africans again. Don't let us be like that. If it happened in Nigeria, how would we address it? Family, friends, apparently, Auntie, you've blocked all your husband's family members. So abroad is not heaven. Abroad is not heaven, and it's not everybody in the abroad that will be okay. People are making it in Nigeria. People are making it in Africa. So don't make abroad your beat and end it all. I've entered abroad. They said that as I enter like this, life me is going to be good. They say if a woman is kiniko, they'll get the house, they'll get paper, they'll get this. And what about the support? What about the emotional trauma of it all? What about the lack of the dad in the kid's life? What about the impact it has on the children's lives? No one tells you that. No one tells you the loneliness. No one tells you the having to have all the responsibility of being a single parent. No one tells you all that. My sister, my brother, if your marriage is redeemable, please redeem it. But importantly, sit with your husband. Talk as adults. Don't now make the police is now the only one that can talk to you. I'm going to ring the police. Yeah. We don't, they don't babysit. Police, social services, they're not meant to babysit us. They're not meant to babysit us. This thing, they vex me, girl. You bring woman from Nigeria, they will now become a gungweja long way. Calm down when you're bearing. Please, let us try to chill a bit. Understand that this man also has blood running through him. Understand that he's human. He's made errors. He's made mistakes. You don't want to be with him again. That's fine. But let him enjoy. Let him also live. Don't buy him. Give him the opportunity as well. You can Oyibo. I've known Oyibo people. They are husband and wife. They are no longer together. There is no intimacy. But the wife did not send him out of the house. He sleeps in the living room. He does not have anything to do with, but he sleeps in the living room, helps the wife, helps dinner, for the sake of the children. They co-parent and they cohabit. Africans, let us take that leaf too. Let us learn that is possible. Not everything. Push your husband out. Not everything. Push your husband out. Not everything. Push your husband out. No. Calm down. Somebody's just come. He's paying for your rent. To go and pay for, you just send him out. Or where is he going? I don't care where you sleep. It is well. Men, there is support. Domestic abuse organizations that can support you and are ready to hear your own side of the story. We will hear your story and we will support you. It's time for men to start speaking up. If they are going through any mental health issues, you need to speak up. You need to. If you need to, ring your GP. If you need to, you're getting to the point where you're just in the train or on the bus and you're thinking, say, I just by myself. Please stop by at the nearest A&E. Go and see a mental health.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. London here. We're about to go live. And what are we speaking about today? Ladies, wives, you've been calling the police on your men, your husbands. Now, some of you have valid reasons, but apparently most of you don't. You're kicking your husbands out of their own homes. They brought you from Africa and other such destinations to the UK and to Europe and to North America. And the way you've repaid them is by calling the police on them. This is not good. Do you have a valid reason for that? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Why don't we get into it right now? So please do join me, Dr. London, and my guests. The topic is stop calling the police unnecessarily. Thank you very much.
Just come abroad. You never won't do 1 year. Call the police. One, they call me going house, one, they go settle matter. What happen? She tell me, say, if you carry and touch me, police, you're chasing at Lagos with the now, bros, even though says you not get sense, you are not supposed to beat a woman. But sister, you think that the best way be this one? Call the police. Now, give or take, when I misbehave, when I fight each other for Nigeria, which police you want call? Police will not get petrol for motor. No, come, we could talk serious matter. Police will not get petrol for motor, now you want call. But the push you come for house. Which house? House where in build? Or house where even though they say that to build and say, which police will pursue your husband come for house? Now, more leave that side will come this side now. Without there. No wahala. Because when I do the thing, I bless it, I need to calculate before I do some kind of statistics. And me, I will just talk them the way it be. Now, you know what happened today now? Nah. The UK police, they don't tire. They don't tire.
See, married women in the UK, we need to talk. Like, get a seat and come close. What exactly is the problem? Why do you choose to report your husband to the police? I'm not saying you shouldn't report the ones that are physically abusive. No, I don't tolerate or condone domestic violence. But if the marriage is not working anymore, pack your bags and leave. Live with your children. Must you report somebody's child? Must you report your husband to the police? Why? Why exactly? I know that there are bad marriages. Walk, take a walk, leave. You can build your life all over again, marry somebody else if you want, do something with your life, but must you report somebody's husband? I mean, if it's a case of domestic violence, yes. But if not, if it's just issues and challenges, leave. Divorce and move on in peace. Don't spoil that man's life.
So another African woman, I would say a black woman, called police, right, for her husband. So another day in London, another day in UK, calling police for your husband. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened or what is it, but yeah, UK women, they are more free to the police than buying chicken and chips, or they are more cheap to call to call police than buying water. So yeah, another woman. Then now, well, according to what I see, right, the guy was just there. She was doing the shouting. She was doing the, you know what I'm saying? But who am I to judge?
Mexicans live rent-free in black people's heads. We not appropriating y'all culture. Y'all acting like us. We not acting like y'all. So clearly, it's the opposite.
The reason the Black and African community cannot break generational poverty is because our parents expected wealth to flow upwards and not down. They played Russian roulette with all their kids' futures, hoping one of us will be their lucky payday. Instead of getting off their asses and building anything of value for themselves, they built houses back home that they're never going to live in and finance the lives of every single person but their own families. Years of doing the bare minimum, then turning around and expecting luxury, praise, and financial rescue like the struggle wasn't their own to change at their big old age with scarcity mindsets and beggar mentality, and somehow still convince themselves that sacrifice is only for the children. Passed down nothing but guilt and trauma, but we are going to be the last generation that tolerates this. It ends with us. Oh my God, who said that?
What other race/ethnicities do you believe would be there to help black people in a race war?
Black American people, because the Caribbeans and the Africans, I don't see them standing up with us either.
Excuse the
out of me.
The diaspora wars are already going crazy. It's mad Caribbeans and African people that think that they better than Black Americans as it is. So when people from other countries come here, they are already forewarned. Stay away from them Black Americans. They're like this. They're like that. There are a lot that will stand up with us, but I'm not counting every single last one.
So what you're saying is there are going to be a group of West Indians who are going to look at a race war and say, I'm from Trinidad. I know what's going on here. But I'm from Trinidad. I know what's going on in Alabama and all them type of thing. Them fellas down there, that's good. I go on right out soldier.
The youth talk it like a joke, you know, but guess what? A serious thing, you know. Can we know some yard would have said, fight what kind of blood clot war? For who? And for the white man, them never do me nothing. They come if you make money for me and my family. If me have to go fight war, me I go back on my blood clot yard. Seeing? And another thing I want the Queen to know, seeing? Yes, there are Africans and there are Caribbean people who think that them better than African Americans. But there are also African Americans who think that them better than Africans and Caribbean people. See? An African American once told me while on vacation in Jamaica that he was a higher class of black than me. Why? He stated that because the slave ship dropped him off in America. That's what he told me. See? Know that.
Yes, you guys don't like Black Americans at all. You guys just say bad things about them. They're criminals. They're from slavery. They are not from Africa. They don't know their home. Oh, you know, it's so sad. All the time, you look at a black man and you tell them that, oh, you are from America. You are not African. You are not from Africa. You are lost. You are from slavery. I'm not a slave. You are a slave. Shame on you. Shame on you to even open your mouth. Do you know how painful that is? Whether they look like you or they don't look like you, they are your people. And you say to their face that you are not one of me. You are a slave. Wow. Do you know the pain that our ancestors went through? Just because you were not colonized does not mean you should open your mouth to call somebody a slave.
People that come to the US can be so successful past the people that were born in this country. What's up with that? It makes no sense at all. Can you guys tell me why that happens? I literally want to be educated on that topic. If you've got someone who got common sense, neurological sense, those are the people I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to the NIGGA. I refuse.
So I've been seeing this African woman from Congo because I looked up the flag that she posts, talking hella crazy about Black Americans, just trying to get attention. Girl, I got a little bit of time before I eat my lunch. Now let me ask you a question. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, particularly the eastern region, the people are facing a severe humanitarian crisis due to a protracted conflict involving numerous armed groups, including M23, vying for control of resources and power. This has resulted in widespread displacement, food insecurity, and actual violence, with children being particularly vulnerable. Now you can pause to read the rest of that. How come you fled your country since y'all come here and do so much better instead of staying your ass home and building up your country and helping out the children and helping out with the food scarcity and all that's going on over there? How come you're not more grateful to the people that you speak of because of us during the 1965 Civil Rights Movements, Immigration and Nationality Act? Baby, that's the only reason why you could come over here successfully and have the freedom and the liberties that you have. So stop being disrespectful. You wanted some attention, bitch, here I go. I answered. You kept calling. Black Americans, please give me some attention because clearly I'm bored and nobody's paying me any mind in real life. Y'all swear y'all doing so much better. Stay home and fix up your own country. You got a lot of problems in your own country. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.